Hello and welcome to the Third and Long podcast. Live on a Monday night after the last London game of the season, meaning that there are no more games on English soil this year. As always, I'm here with Phil, Ollie, and Shane. How are you, boys?
I'm good, man. All good. Yeah, we've come to an end of the British leg of the international series. It's a bit of a shame. It's all good. All good.
It's just a pity it ended on a bit of a whimper.
I mean, me and Phil were talking before you lot came on. First quarter really good. Last quarter really good. In the middle, it was like everyone just went on a break and forgot about it for
I
a
had,
bit.
I was having a conversation with someone on the tube on the way back, and he said to me, "Did you enjoy the game?" And I was like, "There've been better games, but yeah." And he looked genuinely shocked that I said that I enjoyed the game.
Really?
Yeah,
Was
I
he
mean,
was he an NFL fan?
yeah, he was a Chiefs fan.
oh, devastating. To be fair, as I was coming up to the stadium, we ran into like some German fans, and they were I forgot what they were wearing. And he was just saying about like this one lad, a huge blonde German lad. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to find a Chiefs fan and punch him," and I was like, "Whoa, steady on." Like it was really good.
Wow, a bit brutal.
No, honestly, it was just like I'm not even going to attempt to do like the German accent, but it's like I'm going to find a Chiefs fan, I'm going to punch him, and I'm like, whoa, that's
Before,
pretty
Well,
intense.
before the
here
game, I
I am,
had
guys. In the immortal words of R. Kelly, trapped in a closet, just for this week. I was the only one of the four of us that didn't go to the games. Gentlemen, would you mind giving us a quick rundown on the experience was and how it was yesterday?
so actually before the game, I actually ran in, had a lovely conversation with some people that were from Jacksonville, that had flown over
Oh,
especially from the game. They
wow.
they
Duval.
they'd been to the Fulham game before because of the Shad Khan link, but although the game wasn't the best, the atmosphere was electric.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is probably the best out of the three, I think. I
Yeah,
mean, there was a lot of fans from Denver over.
Yeah.
well, I mean,
An awful lot
it
of
was
fans.
it was a record breaking attendance, I believe.
Yeah,
Good
it was a
evening,
lot like
David. Yeah,
crazy.
Whoop whoop
record.
whoop whoop.
I I swear they've had more than that there, but
Yeah, I thought they'd have more than
I would say
86,000.
I'm pretty sure I've been to England games where it's been the same, if not slightly more, in
well, if you think
attendance.
about it, they take the first 10, 12 rows out of the side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So 86, 87 is about what they get, but I'm sure they've had higher 86 than that. I may be right, I may be wrong.
But so because I got there, I got there pretty early.
yeah, you did.
And so we went around like the Duval market, and we looked at like the NFL stuff, and then we got pretty close to the Jacksonville cheerleaders. And
Of course
it
you
was
did.
so much stuff going on, and then we went to like the food court, and that was like you were really penned in. Like it was such a small area that had a couple of thousand people in. It was really difficult to get in and out of there. But yeah, just around the stadium, it was it was absolutely buzzing. And then you get into the stadium as well. I don't want to go into like the prices for certain things, but like my brother-in-law came. He's only just getting into like the NFL because he's picked his NFL team based off of the jerseys that he liked the look of.
Who's his
And he,
sport?
well, he originally when we were going down in the car, he was like, "I'm going to follow the Eagles because they were they were unbeaten." You know, it was like blah 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 blah. And he got to the stadium, he was going, who wears that?" And he pointed, and it was like a black jersey with yellow on the sides. I went, "Oh, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers." And he went, oh, "Okay, all right, I'm going to follow the Steelers." And then that very evening, the
Bad
Eagles
joke.
absolutely pumped the Steelers, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But it was absolutely amazing. And even though the stadium itself, because I was sitting with quite a lot of I mean, it felt like a Broncos home game. But like the initial first quarter, I was saying to Ollie, like it was really electric because Wilson threw a pick with the second play. Was it the second or third play?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
something like
really
that,
It was the
wasn't
early.
first drive. He threw a pick. And then Jacksonville came in, they scored. It was really electric. And then a lot of nothing happened in the second and
Yeah,
third. And then, it got to the fourth. And it was the last play of the game when I think they made that down, and they called a review on the play. The
yeah,
stadium was already half empty because people were leaving. So
yeah.
like,
I was leaving because I didn't know they'd called a review.
Well, yeah,
Mate.
absolutely. So we were so no, because we were like, because we drove in, we didn't get a train, so we're like, well, we'll stay because we're not going to be in the same traffic of people trying to get down the Wembley Mile to get to the trains and the tubes. So we wanted to go, and there's like, even from where we were sitting, we're like, well, they blatantly made it. Like it's a waste of a route.
To be fair, from where I was sitting, I didn't think they'd made it.
Well, I
No,
mean, from what I saw when we could see our view of like the big screen, they did. So but it is what it is. I mean, I'm a big criticizer of Russell Wilson. I hate him. He's cringe. He's not been relevant for the last 10 years. I
You
can go on,
don't
go on.
say.
But he did turn it on to the point where I'm going. It was like a flashback of watching him absolutely blitz the 49ers when he's just literally just like
he
just
was
literally
brilliant.
pass, play. Like he was just making downs and plays after plays after plays, and he kind of like made Trevor Lawrence look really like a rookie. Yeah. Because I mean, Trevor started really well, and then he threw his pick when he got to the 1 yard line, and he passed instead of running. Yeah. Not remotely the same.
Joe, who it reminded me of?
Go on.
Garoppolo last week.
Yeah, but I still think Lawrence has more up.
Yeah, but what I meant is, when Jimmy threw his interception in the red zone last week, he lost his head and wasn't the same after.
Yeah.
I mean,
The thing is, though,
Mr. Unlimited actually played like Mr. Unlimited for once.
Oh, Wilson in the last quarter and a half was brilliant.
I tell you what,
scrambling. He was hitting those long balls.
Yeah.
He was making plays like Russell Wilson did 5-6 years ago in Seattle when he had to make those plays because otherwise he was going to get flattened.
Russ was cooking.
Yeah, he was playing really, really well.
But I will say this to counterbalance it. There was, even though the Broncos came out winning and Russell, played his best game in a Broncos jersey, ETN. Every time he made a play, the whole stadium were getting up. They were cheering. Like, even if they were Broncos fans, they were applauding. Every time he got the ball, you could just feel the whole stadium just rise. I mean
he had 156 yards and a touchdown. It won me some money because I had a couple of quid on him to rush for 100 yards and score a touchdown. So I'm buzzing about that.
That 50-odd yard run he ratted off in the second was insane.
Boom, he gone. I thought he was going all the way. It was a brilliant open field tackle. Really good open field tackle. Can't remember who made it at the end of the day.
It was one of the safeties, I think.
One thing that was really good, though, was Logan Cutts punting.
Yeah, he actually
four punts inside the 20, and only one that was in the touchback, and that was second bounce in.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Wow.
So it was really, really good. And punting, people are paying punters now. Obviously, Las Vegas paid theirs. We paid ours. So punters are getting paid now. It's like, right, can you pin players back? There's one reason why Matt Azari got picked so high by Buffalo, because he can literally, from the 80-yard, hit it right at the end of it.
Let's not talk about Matt Ariza.
Yeah, we won't say any more of that, but that's one of the reasons why he got drafted so high, because he can literally bomb it stop it on the 1 yard line pretty much all the time.
Ollie, on the subject of you winning money, I can't win an argument at the moment. Never mind a bet. So,
That's not as it said. As we said, Travis Etienne was absolutely superb yesterday. 100, like I said, 24 carries for 156 yards. Marvis Landry was a good touchdown as well, through the middle. Oh yeah, of course I forgot Melvin Gordon scored a touchdown as well.
Yeah.
It was a really good game, starting and end. The middle was a bit lost.
Who was the running back that scored for Denver that's not Melvin Ingram? Was it Melvin Ingram? No, not Melvin Ingram.
No, it was Latavius Murray.
Yeah, it was nice to see an old guy like Murray score.
He's the first person to score 2 touchdowns for 2 different franchises in London.
Oh, wow. That's cool stuff.
He played for us last year. He didn't do too bad. Fair play to him last year for us when he came in after our running back core just died in preseason.
Yeah, let's talk about this on
Shall we segue to Ravens now, as they were Thursday night's game?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Evening, John.
Evening, John. We'll get to you in a bit, mate. I'm sure you can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
Phil, fill us in on Thursday night's football.
Right, so
Or Shane, sorry, I should say, because he's a Ravens
Oh,
fan.
well, I did watch the highlights Friday morning, but Shane, if you want to talk about it from a Baltimore, well done, point of
Well,
view,
yeah.
and then I'll balance it out with my POV.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, as we know, they were on Thursday night against the Buccaneers. I stayed up to watch the first half, and I thought we were awful. And it was 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I got work tomorrow, you know. So, because I was like, I'm not. How can they expect us to stay up for this? They were just awful. But then in the second half, then they turned it around. Jackson threw for 2 touchdowns as well, and I think with this Roquan Smith trade as well, now I think Costa is sort of adding up a lot of key pieces now, and I think we're just on the right track to sort of move forward now. We're on the Monday night game against the Saints, which is our next game, and then we're into the bye week. So I think we're hitting the form at the right time. But I wasn't even that impressed by the Bucks, to be fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've got an OAP as their quarterback. He's
Exactly.
playing
Yeah,
he's
I
playing
mean,
like an OAP.
To balance out the argument, because I watched it Friday morning, like the highlights on NFL YouTube channel, and I was in the category of, well, it's bad news for Brady because it's officially come through that Giselle's like leaving him. He's on a particularly bad or underperforming Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. They're 3-5. They're 1-3 in their division. So it's not looking great. However, looking at the actual stats, and I can talk about I'm not the super duper stat man, but Tom Brady did not have a bad game. Like he threw for 325 yards. He got 1 touchdown. He's getting so many pressures on him. Anyway, I think the biggest problem is that O-line because he got sacked 3 times. Yes, I know Lamar got sacked as well 3 times, but he's still making plays. Like the rushing game is so, but like there's still the passing game is still absolutely fine. He's still got Evans. He's still got Goodwin, Fournette. He's got Rashad White. He's got Julio Jones. I mean, he still has his weapons. In fact, I think he's got better weapons than the Ravens. I just think their problem is on defense. I think probably not getting Ndamukong Suh back. I think not renewing him for another year might have just become a massive issue for their D-line. Because I thought he's been really good since he went to Tampa, and was a really, really big piece in them winning the Super Bowl. But yes, Lamar, he threw for 238. He had a QB rating of 104. Tom Brady only had 89.7. But Tom Brady, I mean, he had a good game. Like we say, he's an OAP. Yes, he's well past his prime, but watching this on Thursday and watching the highlights, I don't think he is the reason why the Bucks aren't that great.
I mean, I've watched a game in 40 on Game Pass, and I do think that Brady, the stats probably do favor Brady a bit. Like I don't think Brady had a bad game, but in my eyes, a 300-yard passing game is a good game. I don't think Brady had a good game.
What about Isaiah Likely as well, as David has mentioned? Andrews, I think Andrews can sort of share the load with Likely at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be a shining light in years to come.
It's always good having those two tight ends. I mean, Ollie's lot got Ollie and Phil's lot. I had one on yesterday who they said was playing really well. He's playing as a back end. But obviously, Patriots had that successful era with Gronk and the other one, we won't mention his name, for a good few years. And having two good tight ends is a massive bonus because you can't mark these two big bodies go at corners. Or even one stays in the other one goes. It makes things a lot more difficult and it makes the passing game more efficient, I think. I mean, that's why people go for these big body wide receivers like Khalil, like Devontae, like people like that is who they go for. Going back to what Phil said, I saw someone the other day saying Devin White is the biggest, most bust in the NFL as a linebacker ever. He's the most fraud and all that in the as a linebacker in the NFL. But last season he was one of the best linebackers in the league, and he was praised as one of the best linebackers. And I think it is because they don't have Suh anymore, and Suh creates that hole because he needs at least two people to block him, so you get the linebackers going straight through that A or B gap, whichever one they're going at.
I mean, just look. I mean, I know going back to Niners, but Fred Warner got a sack basically going through the middle
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah, I saw that. That he had nothing around there, and there was I can't remember which game it was, but he came around the side and the bullet was unblocked, and it was like, yeah, you're dead.
Yeah.
The quarterback was absolutely flat. I can't remember what game it was, and I'm gonna have to find it.
Could have well have
But
been.
yeah.
That happened in the Niners too.
It could have
Yeah,
been
he did.
actually.
Like
Yeah, it was,
his hit was insane. It was brilliant.
Bosa got that sack coming around the side, didn't he?
Oh my god, yeah.
Anyway, should we move from Shane's team to Ollie's team and the Patriots?
Yes.
yeah, we got to win.
I didn't see it coming.
So I didn't see the game and I haven't seen the highlights, Ollie. So do you want to just? I mean, I'll get the
So-
stats up and just have a weekender. But tell us what you saw.
I mean, I'd like to talk about Zach Wilson, but Ollie can take
Yeah,
the Patriots.
go for it. Started off very, very slowly. I mean, the New England, we went, 3 and out. They went 3 and out. We went 3 and out. They went and scored a field goal. We then went back to scored another field goal. Mac looks rusty. Mac looks like he's
this
not
was the
played a
game
lot.
of field goals.
It was. I mean, if you look at the field goals now, Nick Folk was 5 from 5. Nick Folk doesn't miss. Rarely misses. He was absolutely brilliant. One Day Stevens, another 61 yards. We went 19 points unanswered. Yes, Mac got very lucky with what could have been a pick 6 in the second half. When
That was a brainless play by the Jets guy.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get protected. Let's just push him over anyway. And Mac did play it. And I was listening to it on the radio, and the Jets commentators were going absolutely mad, going, "Oh, it's never a flag. He's played
was
for
a
it, blah
flag.
blah blah."
It was a flag, but
And the other one, they went absolutely mad about that. Mac scrambled and dived forward, and the bloke went head to head, hit him on the head. Instant flag, helmet to helmet, led with his helmet.
And they're going about helmet, though.
And they're going out. He's giving himself up. He's gone out as a runner. He's not sliding in. That shouldn't be a flag. And they were absolutely bad. But then they called it, going, "Oh look, there's a holding penalty now. That's to make up what they've just given." And it's like, you're meant to be commentators. Yes, you are New York, but you're meant to be impartial to it.
I mean, I was listening to the Niners call the McCaffrey touchdowns this morning. Yeah. They sounded like fans.
They do, and it's brilliant. I mean, the second half, when we came out in the second half, our drive, we blew it out of the water because it was no huddle, really, really quick. Max looked a lot
Oh,
better. When he was in no huddle, quick. And whatever the changes they made at half time suited Mac.
I think Mac, I mean, I only saw the second half because it took me an age to get back to Paddington.
London traffic for you, dude.
It wasn't even traffic. It was just the queue to get to onto the DLR, Wembley, not DLR, or Overground at Wembley.
It was Central. Yeah, it was a bit bad yesterday.
And I thought Mac was okay, but I thought Zach Wilson played he just played really immaturely. He played like he'd never started a game in the NFL. He was just making really, really bad decisions over and over and over again. What was it? It was like 3 or 4 picks he threw?
3 picks. 2 of them was literally 2 D-Macs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, D-Mac is now the oldest active defensive back playing in the league, and he's now has the most picks. Most picks for a defensive back in the league.
That Devin McCourtney first one, I think Zach Wilson was trying to throw it away.
But I think he was trying to throw the second one away as well. He literally just threw it straight into D-Mac's numbers, but it's like, oh, cheers, and returned it. I mean,
it was literally like, here, have the ball.
I mean, there was a dodgy field kickoff as well, and the Patriots received it on the 35-yard line.
I mean, it must be something about Jets quarterbacks.
Well, I didn't see
it's just cursed. It's just cursed. They've been cursed since the 60s, haven't they?
I mean, on Halloween weekend too.
I was going to say, very topical time to mention that, David.
I've seen a few ghosts floating around MetLife today. I don't know about anyone else.
Can I just ask a genuine question as well? I mean, I don't think we've ever brought this up. I know he's been injured, and I know he plays for the Jets, but is Zach Wilson genuinely any good? Like, is he actually? I mean, we talk about the NFL. It's like the best of the best, but is he actually good enough to play in the NFL?
Yeah,
as a starter for a team.
I'm sorry, but the Jets wouldn't be 5-2 this season if Zach Wilson didn't have.
But he hasn't played all games.
I know he's
He
not
missed.
played.
He missed. Don't forget, he missed the first 3 games.
I
When
know.
They were,
I know he missed the first 3 games, but they were 2-1 at that point, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Joe Cool at the
And they're
helm.
now 5. They're now 5-2, so they've gone 3-1 since. He has Zach Wilson has to have something about him. And I
5 and
just
3 they are, mate.
5-3, whatever.
Can I just add?
No-
Trent
no
Dilfer won a
facts
Super Bowl, and he
around
was
here.
one of the worst players ever.
Yeah, but I think Zach Wilson has looked good, and as Nick Saban put it last weekend, even Steph Curry goes 2-25 sometimes. So
Yeah.
I think it was a bad day at the office for Zach Wilson, and I'm not trying to say he's Patrick Mahomes, but I think he is a good mid-level starting quarterback.
I will say something though about the New England coaching staff. They rushed Mac back. They should
Yeah.
have gone to him, right. We're going to put you on IR. Ignore him. Right, you're going to put you on IR. Going to get you fully back. That's week 11. That would have been 7 weeks. Whatever happens, Zappy, whatever happened. You're going to get the fanboys are going to love Zappy and all that because he is exciting and he has got a good arm on him. But there's a reason why he's a 4th-round pick, and there's a reason why Mac was a 1st-round pick. Going back to Zach Wilson, I think we're talking about this because he was picked number 2 overall.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The reason he was picked over number 2 overall was because of that one throw in the combine off his back foot, off the air, and it went 65 yards. And it was a flick of the wrist. It wasn't even a try.
I don't think that's what. I think he was already going number 2 in mock drafts before that throw.
Probably. I mean, from what I've seen of the limited I've seen of Trey Lance over the 2 years, what I've seen of Trevor Lawrence, what I've seen of Mac, what I've seen of Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I personally think the order is what's the wrong way around. I don't think Trevor Lawrence would have been number 1. I don't know what order I would have put them in, but I don't think they should have gone 1, 2, 3, 15, and 11, or whatever order they
None
were.
of them have exactly set the world alight, have they?
Mac Jones
Well,
last
one
year.
of them has a massive asterisk next to his name.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields plays for. Unfortunately, I think Justin Fields we'll find out how good Justin Fields is when he goes to his next team. And because he just plays for a very poor Chicago setup. Zach Wilson plays for the Jets. So it's really hard to and as I say, Trevor Lawrence plays for the Jags. These are like universally not well-run, recognized poor NFL teams that often has
Historically
losing
bad
records.
franchises, yeah. You can say
Yeah.
it. Like,
So,
well,
I mean,
just
Mac
franchises.
for me, Mac looks the best, but then again, he's been put into organizations who have a very, very good setup. Like, this is more or less the same coaching setup that just won 6 Super Bowls.
I mean,
the winningest coach in NFL history.
I want to see Mac this season because honestly, I know he got injured, and Ollie thinks he got rushed back. He's not impressed with this season. I think he didn't look that good even in the second half of last game.
I've got a hot take. It might not be this season. It might be not be next season. But I think Mac Jones. I'm sorry about this, Ollie. I think Mac Jones could become this generation's Jay Cutler.
Ooh.
Right, I'm going to put something out. Look at Mac Jones' rookie season. Look where he had the coaching, and where Josh McDaniels would literally sit down next to him after every drive and go, right, look at this. This is where you've done this. You should have been doing this. And coached him.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that from Matt Patricia and Joe Judge.
Yeah.
So there is your problem. You haven't got a coach who's coaching him, who's teaching his mistakes.
Yeah, but not that many coaches are going to go and cuddle you after every drive.
I'm not saying cuddle him every drive, but look at him, talk to him, and go for like that. And he's not getting that from Judge and Patricia. He was. Well, last week, I mean, I had my rant about it on Monday, but last week was atrocious. They should not put him in that game and dragged him out after 3 drives. I mean, the interception, yes, it wasn't a brilliant throw. B, there was a slight interference with off-field. But he shouldn't have played that game, and I don't think he should be playing this game, and I definitely don't think he should be playing against Indy next week.
No.
Yeah.
Should have put him on IR. Go on to that. I'm not having any more rants because I want to talk about probably one of the weirdest, brilliant game going, and DJ Moore stupidity costing them the game.
Well, I mean, can we just talk about that DJ Moore thing? Yes, he shouldn't have done what he did. But he also got his team back into that game. And I mean, you can say DJ Moore lost that game for the Panthers. Eddie Pinheiro lost that game for the Panthers.
Yeah, agreed. But having that penalty takes out of a regulation field goal, regulation PAT to a missable 48-yard kick.
You still should hit it as an NFL kicker.
Yeah, but God knows we've seen enough kicks being missed this year, you know?
And then in overtime, he goes and misses, what was it, a 25-yard chip shot?
No, it was 34. So it was just outside the pack.
34 you should be hitting in your sleep as an NFL kicker.
I mean, it was a bonkers game. I mean, there was 21 points in the second quarter, and there was 34 points in the fourth quarter.
I mean, I'm not going to complain because the Falcons winning is what made my Aka come in.
Hey!
I remember that Pinheiro missed that field goal, and I'm like, okay, so I know this means I'm not going to be able to watch the Niners for longer because Sky have this thing about not showing the late game until all the early games are done, even if they all go to quadruple overtime. But also this gives my Aka a chance of coming in, so I really don't know how I feel about that missed kick.
Young Ho Koo is probably going to end up being one of the best kickers in the league, I think.
I think he is one of the best kickers in the league already.
He was brilliant. I mean, 3-3, 41 yards. He had another solid game. He's a good kicker. He very rarely misses.
I really like Koo. I've liked Koo for years.
I do. I like Koo as well.
I took him in our fantasy, not this year, last year.
He's very underrated as far as kickers go.
Marcus Mariota is now starting to work out that actually Carl Pitts is a bloody good boy tight end. I'm going to throw the ball at him now.
Can I make a statement?
Go on then.
I think Arthur Smith should be in the running for Coach of the Year.
Ooh.
Carolina.
Okay.
No, Arthur Smith.
Atlanta, sorry. Yeah, of course. Wow.
He's got his team to 4-4 with what I still believe is the least talented team roster in the NFL.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
it's not a bad shot,
Bar Pitts and Drake London, possibly, a couple on the dark side of the ball. Yeah.
Well, if they go 8-8, he deserves Coach of the Year.
Well, they can't go 8-8. They'll go 9-7.
Well, 9-7, even 7, anything 500 or over, even maybe below 500, he deserves Coach of the Year.
Well, they're leading the NFC South now.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
If they make the playoffs, he deserves Coach of the Century.
Yeah, I mean, it was an entertaining end-to-end game. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and I loved watching on Wednesday when I got a chance to, and loved listening to what they were saying on the radio, going, "Oh wow, it's all this and this." I mean,
did they have full commentary of the Jets game on the radio?
On the full commentary, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Is Baker going to get his starting spot back?
No, he doesn't deserve it. PJ Walker is playing well.
He played brilliantly. I mean, he 317 yards yesterday. He got hit once, sacked once, QPR rating of 80.
I mean, his pick wasn't great.
No, his pick wasn't great, but everyone's hoping Baker's probably had crap picks like that.
I'll tell you what, I thought Algier looked good. And Deontay Foreman came out of nowhere and suddenly became,
I know,
Derrick Henry's second coming, didn't he?
Deontay Foreman is playing lights out at the moment. He was 118 yards with 3 touchdowns. It's ridiculously how well he has played since C-Mac's gone to you lot.
He was going to be my player of the week, and then something happened in LA.
Shall we go to Dallas?
But before we do that, hold that thought, Phil, hold that thought. Before we do, I have to jump back off. I've got a few bits to do. I will catch you all Thursday. Very, very quickly, thank you, EDC, for Roquan Smith. It's going to be awesome. Boys, have a great show. I'll catch you Thursday, all right?
Love you, Shano. Love you.
Bye, guys.
See you later, Shano. Take it easy,
Bye,
bro.
Shane.
I mean, Justin Fields jumping over Justin Fields jumping over. Oh, that was a bit strange. Yeah, Justin Fields jumping over. I can't think of his name now. That's quite
Was it
embarrassing.
Parsons?
Mika Parsons, yeah.
Oh my god, he's
Instead of touching to pulling the ball down, and Mika Parsons running in the touchdown, it's like, you idiot.
I think this really, really terrifies me with Dallas because it shouldn't have, because normally they start the season strong and then they peter off because, come on, lol, Dallas. But how have they gone? I only was this morning when I'm looking at the standings, I'm going, the Cowboys are 6-2 and 4-1 at home. Like, how is like Dallas becoming a threat? And that actually really terrifies me. Like, really, that is the equivalent to Manchester United doing really well and going on a winning streak. That to me, because that terrifies me, because the Dallas Cowboys should not be relevant anymore. Like, they haven't been relevant since VHS players were like still a thing.
The fact that Cooper Rush has started most of those games and they're still 6-2.
I
Is
know.
incredible.
And
Yeah,
Dak's playing well. Their offense is playing well. Mika
Tony
Parsons is
Pollard.
just absolutely he murdered Fields and then he ran it in for a touchdown. But like, Dallas are just becoming good. And I don't feel like the media or anyone's really acknowledging the fact that normally, like, the Dallas hype train gets really, really wound up, but no one's talking about the fact that Dallas are they third seed at the moment?
No,
Something like
because
that, yeah.
Eagles
Fourth
are
seed.
top, aren't they? Because they're 7-0.
Oh,
Sorry, no,
it'll
I'm
be
just talking
15,
about like
won't
the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But like,
it?
I mean, the Cowboys
it's
are.
funny.
It's
Funny,
terrifying.
It's almost like the hype's gone down, so there's not this normal Cowboys hype. So that the fact that they're now playing better because there's none of this hype.
There's no like obnoxious kind of like who dem boys or we dem, but like there's literally no, there's no how about them Cowboys. Like, you don't need they're just quietly going about their business, winning games, and in a very impressive situation for them. I'm going this.
The fact that at the moment there are 3 NFC least teams in the playoffs and like 7-0, 6-2, 6-2 is incredible.
Yeah.
When last year before, they were the NFC least. They were a dumpster
the
fire.
fires that yeah.
And they've been a laughing
the
joke for so long as well.
The Commanders are 8th too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Commanders are starting to
at
get
the
there
moment,
now, aren't
the
they?
only reason they're not in the wildcard race is because the Niners have a better conference record than them.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's how
Yeah.
good the NFC East in general is now becoming.
But,
we all thought the AFC West was going to be the Super League.
Yeah.
But it's coming out to the NFC East, and this is what the NFL is so good at.
Can we move on to the Colts-Washington game as we talk about that? Because I want to talk about my guy Heineke.
Go on.
And let's say Ellinger played okay.
Ellinger did all right. He did nothing silly. I mean, he had no interceptions, no touchdowns. Okay,
Yeah, but he did
still
have a
threw for
fumble,
201
didn't he?
yards. He rushed for a few as well. Jonathan
Well-
Taylor looked okay.
No, Taylor was poor. Washington
I mean,
locked
it
up
was.
Taylor, which locked up the Colts, and Naeem Hines was their only shining.
Yeah.
And
mean-
but it was nice to see Shaq Leonard getting that interception for. Did he run it back for a touchdown?
I don't think it went for a touchdown. Where is he? No, it didn't go for a touchdown.
But it was nice to see Shaq Leonard back on the field.
Yeah, I mean, go on. Let's go on the Heineke hype train because it's coming. It's coming again.
Well, I've been on the Heineke hype train for longer than you two put together.
Right.
No, I mean, I was probably 2 or 3 weeks behind you.
Okay, no, I was saying it in the off season. You joined it about week 18.
What, last year?
Yeah,
I brought Heineke in about week 6 or 7 on 12
yeah,
fantasy
but
team, I think, last year.
I was on the Heineke hype train the season before that, before we even started this podcast. I was
Agreed.
On the Heineke
You
hype
were
train.
from the beginning. Heineke. You are quite high on Heineke, and it's another one. He's playing well. Played really well against Green Bay. His comeback drives, because there was 2 of them, against Washington, against Indianapolis, was really, really good as well. I mean, that 4th quarter drive to win the game was brilliant. I mean, it was Curtis Samuels and Scary Terry was brilliant as well in that game.
Do you want to hear a weird fact about Heineke?
Go on then.
He gets something like $1.3 million every win.
What?
And
No, that can't be right.
No, more on top of his salary.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And apparently he spent some of that on Jordans of the colours of the teams he beat.
Yes,
I heard
I
about
heard
that.
that
I heard
on
about that this
Good Morning
morning.
Football. Yeah, it's
So
brilliant, isn't it?
I'm assuming he's buying some blue and white Jordans.
He's probably
Nice.
some green and gold ones there as well. I mean,
Yes.
he is playing well. I mean, this is another one. Backup quarterback. Your QB1s are injured. Is Wentz going to get back in?
He shouldn't, but he will.
Exactly. He shouldn't, but he probably will do. But if Heineke now wins the next 2-3 games, and takes them to 6, 7, and 4, are you going to put Wentz back in?
I'd appreciate it if Carson Wentz was playing Week 16.
Is that when you lot play him?
Yeah.
I mean, Riverboat Ron is not a fan of Wentz. Like I remember when I brought up on the pod a couple of weeks ago where he very bluntly said, "What is your team struggles?" And he just went quarterback. Like make a direct jab at Wentz. I don't think bringing Wentz in was his decision, and I think with Heineke playing well, Heineke was there last season as well. I think if he stays fit and he's playing well, I don't think we see Wentz start again this season.
Unless they're like guaranteed to play off and it's like, oh yeah, we'll protect you and stuff like that, blah blah blah.
I
blah,
wonder.
blah.
I wonder. Do you think Frank Reich will make it to the end of the season?
I don't think Wright, and I don't think we'll talk about it in a minute. I don't think Josh McDaniels will either.
No.
I mean, this is just an aside. I saw a tweet that said Chatter was saying Hackett was going if they lost.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that as well. I mean, you might have heard it a bit more, Phil, because you were in that area. But I did hear like a mumbling going around, that Hackett will go if he's not there. If it doesn't, the curse of London could be striking.
But I mean, Broncos won, so I think he's okay.
Yeah, for another week.
I think Hackett has a better chance of keeping his job than McDaniels because, I mean, I've said on the pod, and I even said in my predictions, I think the Raiders would get to the playoffs. I mean, that's a goodbye now.
Sorry, John.
Watching like Red Zone yesterday and watching the highlights this morning, and they spent a lot of money. I know I said about like the Davises have been really good with their head coaches in the past in terms of spending money, trying to buy success to the Raiders, but they are so bad. Like they are so bad, and I don't know whether or not that is a coaching problem, a personnel problem. Carr is just not even remotely even half as good as he was last year, let alone previous years. I don't think you're going to win with Carr, but we'll come to that anyway. But
let's segue on to that game now. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I got back, it was 24-0 and they barely showed it on Red Zone.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah,
they
mentioned that because I was following
plays.
on the Twitter feed, and there were times it was just like, I mean, the Vegas Twitter feed was just slamming Carr,
So I'm not sure if anyone,
McDaniels.
I'm not sure if anyone saw the first half because I didn't.
No, I missed the first half.
No, I had the stuff. The train signal was shocking. So, I mean, but Alvin Kamara has scored his first touchdowns of the year.
And his second and his third.
And it's 158 yards rushing, or scrimmage, 3 touchdowns, 2 through the air. He looked Alvin Kamara of old. He looked really, really good. And Andy Dalton looked okay.
Yeah, the red rifle.
Yeah. I mean, Andy Dalton looked okay in London. He looked Andy Dalton-esque last week, but he looked okay from the highlights I've seen. He looked okay. He didn't make any stupid passes. He was 22 from 30 for 229, 2 touchdowns. QPR rating 117.
And
he
John
managed.
Yeah,
exactly.
I want to ask John a question. Do you think this shows no reliance on Devontae Adams? Because I mean, Devontae Adams 1 reception, 3 yards, and without that, the offense looked awful.
Yeah.
I mean, they had 138 yards total.
That's poor.
Jared Stidham came in and was 8 for 13 for 72 yards. Derek Carr was 101 yards, and he rushed for 38. So sorry, that's more. That's 190 yards or something like that.
But have you seen the picture that was posted on social media of let's see if I can find it, of him just like looking into the distance with like these weird evil eyes? See if I can.
Who was that?
Hold on, if I just send you the link, and he just looks. He is
I think I
just
can bring
not
it up.
loving life. Hold on, let's have a look.
Is that Devontae?
No,
No, it's Carr.
Carr.
If you click on that,
I think Carr liked the chaos.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like I'm now this calming influence
So
of this.
from the little that we've done, it looks like we reverted to the passing game again when Josh Jacobs has been carrying it so well. Yeah, that was weird. You did pass it a lot when I was like, Jacobs is having like a career year.
10
Just
carries
give
for
it to him.
43.
Yeah,
John,
exactly.
can I just ask a question as well? Just because we've had quite a few conversations about like the quarterbacks this evening. Carr, are you rating him? Is he still the right guy? Is he a hindrance? Is it McDaniels? What is the problem in Vegas? Because we can talk about like outsiders looking in, but you know we have our own fandoms that we follow. But as a Raiders fan, what is the problem? Because I feel like it's a recurring theme every week when I bring it up about how I want the Raiders to win, and then they find different ways of just sucking harder. Because I had them pegged for a playoff run, so something's happened, something's developing, you know, where the
Josh
team is a
McDaniels
lot
for-
calmer this year. There's no off-field issues. That's, you know, I don't know if it's not the Raider way that they've all got their heads screwed on right, but what is the problem?
Josh
It's almost
McDaniels.
like right. We can't, but now no longer feel like it's us against the world because there's no off-field issues. There is no problems. There is nothing like that.
Here we go. I want to like Carr. Takes well. Like a guy, just can't see the team progressing with him, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
He
I mean, he's been
hasn't
around
the
long enough
same.
now that this is his ceiling. Like we talked about. I mean, I've heard people talk about like Aaron Rodgers recently, and like even Jimmy Garoppolo and other quarterbacks that have been in the league for quite some time. There's no more development. They are exactly what they're going to be.
I
And
mean,
Carr has been around for 10 years now, or
Carr,
just shy of 10 years.
I'd love
like
to.
that,
I'd love to see Carr get back to 2017 Carr,
Before
but
you
I
have
just
that
don't
leg.
think he will.
Yeah, this is a shame because he was absolutely brilliantly there.
Raids and
Shall we
Jets
go? Shall we
cost
roll? Yeah.
Shane 170 quid. Yeah, let's move on.
Devastating.
Shall we go to Detroit? And I thought they were going to have an upset
I
there.
want to see the Lions win so badly after Hard Knocks, and Dan Campbell in his press conference sounded so sad.
He does. He sounds deflated, doesn't he? It's like Dan Campbell's this upbeat, and he come across this upbeat guy getting involved in like the up downs and things like that. And he's not doing. They're not doing it for him. They're making stupid mistakes. I mean, it was last week. There was 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles, 1 on the goal line. There was no fumbles today, but they're just not. They're defensive errors on the side of the ball now. Letting in the backfield, they've sacked their defensive back because they're picking up massive chunk plays. So it said something. I mean, Waddle and Tyreek Hill had just shy of 300 yards yesterday.
Oh yeah, Tyreek Hill was just eating. I mean,
188 yards, no reception, no
he is
touchdowns.
the first person ever to have 4. He's the quickest person ever to have 4 130 plus yard games in a season.
It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. And it's mad. It really is mad. It shouldn't be. I mean, Detroit is still one in the top 3 or 4 in scoring offense, and it shows they can get the ball down the field. They just can't stop teams the other way. They've got probably one of the best, going to be one of the best pass rushers.
I think we're tanking for draft picks. QB class looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you've got meant to be one of the best pass rushers coming out of the draft for a few years now. I'm not going to say because we're not going to get into this argument again, Ollie. In Hutch, but he only had 1 tackle.
Yeah,
and
I know he's been injured and he missed 1, maybe 2 games, but I haven't been blown away with him. Like, he's had his moments, but I don't know whether or not, again, poor setup, over-reliance on him, but he's not wowed me yet. And I hope I eat my own words.
I think him being there is a big influence. Is big influence than people make on.
Yeah, I mean, look at Rodriguez.
Sometimes you don't need. Sometimes just the star being there and having to be accounted for is enough.
And that would be right if the Lions weren't 1-6.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they've
I
been a
mean,
good. They've been a good 1-6. They're unlucky to be 1-6.
apart from one
But
game,
they're
that
still
was against us.
losing. Do I need to bring up the Cam Newton quote after he lost the Super Bowl when he was asked about why he was a sore loser, and he said, "If you show me a picture of a good loser, I'll show you a loser." And we can talk about like team spirit, and I'm like you, Ollie. I really want the Lions to do well. My wife is a armchair Lions fan. I watched Hard Knocks. I saw Aiden Hutchinson singing Billie Jean to like the whole team. I really want them to do well, but their culture is that they're a bunch of losers, and there's not much more. I mean, yeah, he could be a positive influence, but there's still 52 of them are all losers.
I'd rather have someone like Malcolm Rodriguez, who was their 6th-round pick last year.
Yeah, Rodrigo.
He
Yeah.
is a train in that defensive back, in that linebackers. I mean, he had 7 tackles yesterday, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflected, 1 QB hit, but he was on the losing side.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be the case. I mean, those stats are really, really good stats, but he was on the losing side, and that shouldn't be the case, which is a real, real shame, because they do have good players. They've got really good players on the offense, both the running backs, Swift and Williams. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be a top wide receiver. Put him in like San Francisco and LA, or
You probably want him in a Patriots jersey, don't you?
oh, I'd love him in a Patriots jersey. Don't get me wrong. Having that in there would be brilliant. But having that kind of thing, he'll be winning a ring. But he's not going to win a ring in Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is a shame.
Anyway, shall we move on to the undefeated Eagles?
I was gonna bounce onto Minnesota because I thought that was a hell of a game.
Oh, that was a really good game. Yeah, Red Zone was going wild. That the Panthers game, it was just kept going back to. Go on, you talk about it.
Kirk Cousins. I'm going to say it very, very quietly. Is in the MVP conversation.
Shh. He might hear you.
I mean, I can't say I disagree.
Playing really, really well. He had 2 touchdowns. He rushed for a touchdown yesterday. He died for a touchdown yesterday.
I just wonder, Jack, if you're watching, I'm not sure if you are. What's your thoughts on Kirk Cousins and your 6-1 start?
Or Tom? Is Tom around?
I doubt Tom's watching.
No, I mean they
Tom's
seem.
probably crying about his fancy football defeats.
I mean, they're passing the ball around. They've got Jefferson, Phelan, Kirk, Irv Smith, KJ Hobson. They're passing the ball around to them. They're not relying on Cook running the ball as well. They're using
Cook's not having
Matheson
a great
as well.
year. Like Cook is playing not great, and they're 6-1.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray lost again yesterday. Do we take that more than anything else?
I mean, COD just came out like a couple of weeks ago.
COD did just come out, actually. There's a lot of buzz around it as well, so I can see why his mind's been distracted.
I mean, he had 2 picks. He threw for 326 yards, and he rushed for a few. DeAndre Hopkins catch. I mean, you've called it your catch of the week contender. Yep. Ridiculous one-handed.
No contender, my catch of the week.
It's our catch of the week competition contender.
Yeah.
Get it right.
I thought saying he was a contender for my catch of the week, but no, as soon as that happened, I was like, that is my catch of the week.
It's ridiculous. I mean, but Vikings are looking good. They're not the best team in the NFC.
No.
Because they got the Eagles up there. Dallas are playing incredibly well. New York Giants are playing very well. They are. The NFC was meant to be, it's going to be between XYZ teams, between these 2 teams. The NFC is more competitive than the AFC is at the minute.
Yeah. Yeah. The AFC just looks like there's only really 2 teams playing for it at the moment, while the NFC is. You've got really good teams that are either 500 or just shy of a winning record, but they're not horrible teams, with the exception of maybe the Lions. But yeah, it's I could see the Vikings going to the championship
potentially.
I could see it.
But
which then they will inevitably choke, because that's why they wear purple. Because if I was choking for 50 years, I'd be purple as well.
Hey, but they're gonna have to go for the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles.
Exactly. So
Great segue.
Love that one. Who someone put on social media that they are disrespectful because halfway through maybe
Third
near the
quarter.
end of the third quarter, they subbed the whole team and put the reserves on. It's like,
Yeah.
no, mate, Pittsburgh is just that bad.
Yeah.
When your wide receiver's throwing more touchdowns than your quarterback is, that says something.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of annoying me because Hurts is my quarterback in one of my fantasy leagues. I mean, they'll probably win the game anyway, provided Brissett doesn't score like 55 points tonight. But I was like, come on, Jalen, give me the points.
But we got a little bit of Minshew mania. I mean, literally, Gardner Minshew could actually win a
Start for
Super Bowl.
Pittsburgh. Wouldn't we? Everyone love that. We'll all be rocking
No,
the tashes again.
I'm
won't
not-
we?
You are. I'm against facial hair. I don't like facial hair whatsoever. But if I really like how you are with Heineke, Ollie, I am with Minshew. Like I
Yeah, but
really, really
Heineke's
like
actually
Minshew.
good.
What? Minshew's
Heineke-
good. Minshew's
Minshew's
a hype
Minshew's a
man,
good
and as you said,
quarterback, mate.
sometimes having a good presence around a team is actually quite positive. So maybe he is the positive vibe that the Eagles are
That's not what I was
actually.
saying. That's not what I was saying.
You said about Aiden Hutchinson having like
Yeah.
his presence in the team
I meant
helps.
his presence having to be double teamed allows other people to get to the quarterback.
But I'm talking about his metaphorical presence.
Yeah, the
Like,
metaphorical
do you not
presence.
remember from last year when he played and he came rocked up as like Maverick from Top Gun in like the Top Gun outfit, and it's like he just
Yes.
rallied and his team won and he hugged his
Yes.
dad, and it was like a viral moment. This is the Minshew that I love. I'd love to have Minshew as our third string in San Fran.
I like Mr. Relevant as third string.
What,
AJ
Purdy?
Brown though.
Three
AJ Brown
was it three
is-
touchdowns?
3 touchdowns, 156 yards. He is one of the reasons why they're 6-0 or 7-0. Sorry now.
Yeah, I mean,
Him and their defensive backs, and even how well Jalen Hurts playing, is the reason why they're at 7-0.
Howie Roseman deserves a medal.
Yes, for playing. He's done wonders with this team. Absolutely
Howie
superb.
Roseman should have a statue. They should replace Doug Peterson with Howie Roseman with like a phone in like a suit.
With a thing that says AJ on it.
Yeah, but it's not
Get-
just a. It's
Or
not
get
just,
AJ at all costs,
I
like draft day.
Whether it was I want to know whether it was Roseman or Sirianni, but whichever one of them wanted to go and get AJ Brown, and then Darius Slay,
Darius Slay is more impressive than AJ Brown
and now apparently
and James Bradbury as well.
and now apparently they're going to go and get Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Kamara won't be going anywhere. I guarantee you, we'll be having this conversation tomorrow, and Kamara will still be a Saint.
Apparently, both sides seem to want to get this done. So,
We'll glaze over Tennessee. Apart
well, I'd
from
just
the
like
fact
to
that
say two things about Tennessee.
Derrick Henry is back.
There's Derrick Henry, and they've very quietly got to 5-2.
Yeah, very very quietly got there. I mean, Derrick Henry. Malik Willis only threw for 55
Oh,
yards.
Derrick Henry won that game for them.
Yeah,
Malik Willis
all-
didn't do anything.
No, it was one of these very just don't lose us the game. I mean, I sent an expletive message to the group chat, which I'm not going to put, saying Malik Willis is hit insert letter in front after he had his pick.
Yeah, I said to you when Willis was going to start, we'll finally see what the kid was made of, and you said sack, fumble, fumble.
Sack, pick, bust.
Yeah, that was it.
And nothing of what I've seen of the highlights yesterday, and I've seen all his throws, all his plays, has made me change. Admittedly, his quarterback keeper to the roll when he rolled out to the left when he almost got the touchdown was impressive. But his throws and his pocket presence, I would love to play Tennessee next week. You would have a field day. We would have a field day. He would be crumbling. He would be bent in half. He doesn't look good at all. Yeah.
Anyway, on to the Seahawks, because I'd like to leave the Niners for last.
That was a
we'll
great
have to talk
game
about
as
the
well.
Packers and the Bills as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, that was a
Oh,
great game.
Yeah.
Really,
What,
really
Seattle
good.
and-
The score that is, the fact that the Seattle Mariners got flagged as well for
Yeah,
the coach.
yeah, I love that.
For the official running into the coach. was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Can I say this even more quietly than you said Kirk Cousins?
Gino?
Is Geno Smith in the MVP race?
If Geno Smith didn't play for Seattle, I think I'd be on his massive bandwagon because I watched the video that they put out on Sky Sports. No, actually no, it was that good sports. He did like a deep dive into Geno Smith's career and how he's had to go through quite a lot of crap to get to where he
Yeah.
is. But then he sat behind some really, really great quarterbacks, and it's now as he's hit that prime year of being 30, he knows exactly what type of quarterback is his strength, and we're seeing it. And I think, trading away Russell Wilson and keeping Geno Smith has been insane. It's been such a great thing for them.
Ollie was
So
just
yeah,
dying.
I think if he hadn't been around the league for as long and been a starter for the Jets and being sitting at number 2 for quite some time, I think a lot of people would be more on the hype train. But yeah, I'm a big proponent for Geno, even though he plays for Seattle.
What I liked about him yesterday was long ball to Tyler Lockett, flicked off Tyler Lockett's face mask, which was really unlucky.
Yeah.
Got there, flicked it, it just went through his hands. That's harsh. He went up to him going, consoled him, it's right, don't worry about it. Next drive, another long ball, straight to Tyler Lockett again. Tyler Lockett called it touchdown.
Also, apparently DK
Good
Metcalf
man management and that as well.
Can't get injured.
Who? Sorry?
DK Metcalf, he got cards off with his knee and he looked fine next week.
You sure you just didn't get cards off to go to the bathroom?
No, he actually got caught. Like, he did like something quite. I swear he did something quite bad to his knee, and then he's like playing next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I just get the stats very quickly. Yeah, DK Metcalf. I mean, he had 10 targets for 55 yards, for 6 of them he pulled in and a touchdown. He is. I think it's the fact that I think there's no fat on him at all. He's probably minus % fattage on him. So strong, so big, And Kenneth Walker, I was high on Kenneth Walker pre-draft. I mean, he is now showing that this guy is going to be a superstar in this league.
Yeah.
Absolute superstar, and he is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I think Olave might have something to say about that, but yeah.
I think he's going to be Walker personally. Go on then.
Whose
I know
house?
you do.
Whose house? Whose house?
What? So Levi South.
Yeah, Levi South. Whose house? I mean, it's unfair that we get 10 homes.
Ollie, I got to ask you a question. Who's got it better than us in
No one.
SoFi? Nobody. I said to you because me and Ollie quickly met up at the end of the game yesterday, and my last words to you were, Ollie, I don't think we're going to win tonight. Like I generally thought.
My last words were to you.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both literally gone. I thought like we had so many players off. Debo wasn't going to be playing.
Okay,
Armstead's still out. Greenlaw's still out. Juice. I mean,
we're on bye, and after bye, we're getting back Greenlaw. We're getting back Juice. We're getting back Debo. We're getting
What's
back.
Juice done?
Broken finger.
He broke his thumb. Literally, was like a right angle.
His hand, it's like in a full-on cast and sling. It's like,
yeah.
Jeez, that's not good.
We get Verrett back.
Yeah.
We get Armstead back. We maybe even get Kinlaw back.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good.
And you got play of the season.
Are you talking about the lateral to C-Mac and C-Mac for 34 yards?
I love it.
Touchdown! Sam!
I remember. Do you remember?
Let's go!
I think it's 2014 or was it 2015 when Edelman passed to playoff Danny against the Ravens. Oh, Phil's not Shane's not here, so you remember. It reminded me of that.
You know, he's only the third running back to have a passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, and receiving touchdown in the game. And he's in pretty good company with LaDainian Tomlinson and Walter Payton.
That's not bad to have Walter Payton alongside you, is it at all? I mean, I just said to Kelly,
John,
I guarantee one of you.
He did last night. He was like,
Yeah.
trade Jimmy. And
I did.
start-
I literally said, I was
start
like, drop
CMC.
Jimmy G, start CMC as starting quarterback or QB1. I literally said that, John. So you have no drama there, mate. I knew exactly what I was talking about. But
I said to Kelly last night, one of these two are going to have Jimmy, not Jimmy, C-Mac as player, and the other one's as catch of the week.
I've
And
also- I
I
also-
called it.
I also this morning, because teacher payday, I did buy myself a CMC 23 jersey. That's
I will be buying myself one soon.
I know, it was so good. But speaking of it though, I am his biggest detractor. Jimmy G was faultless. Like,
Jimmy G was incredible.
he was an
especially
effective.
especially
again-
in that second half.
Yeah, I hate using the term game manager because I always link it to Alex Smith sucking, but Jimmy G game managed and he sliced and diced. I mean, the first half, both offensive and defensive, it was very difficult. Both sides of the ball really struggled. But then second half, Kyle made the adjustments on offense, DeMarco made the adjustments on defense, and we were a completely different team. Like, to say that we steamrolled them is an understatement.
21-0.
Shocking.
Yeah,
21-0 in the second half.
Yeah,
21
they were
points. and 9 points.
shockingly bad. Really
I mean,
bad.
Jimmy's rating was 132.5.
I'm so happy Matt Stafford is finally getting exposed as not that good a quarterback.
Yeah,
The
agreed.
thing is with LA is I think, I mean, it looks like we couldn't lose Cooper for a few weeks now, which is going to be a big shame.
Also, so dumb. So dumb. So dumb. Why was he still in the game?
I don't know. I like I said, I was only out on red zone. I've seen the play. Was it Fred Warner wrapped him round?
Yeah, but it
Literally,
was
as he
also
grabbed him,
with
pulled him
about
down.
40 seconds to go in garbage time when you're down by 20 odd points.
Yeah.
Why are you
Yeah.
risking him?
I mean, that's them. I mean, they're now going to, Allen Robinson isn't an Odell Beckham. They're missing Von Miller, which is massive.
To be fair, Allen Robinson made that amazing catch for 5 yards and then lost 15 for taunting.
It's it's silly.
I mean, it was correct taunting, but also can we talk about that face mask that was missed? That was so
on the sack.
so blatant that none of those refs should be allowed back in the NFL.
That was bad. I mean, Jimmy's head went sideways.
I mean, yeah.
I called that as well. I said that on the pill
Yeah.
on the group chat, going because they showed it.
Yeah, I do think the Niners defense looked good too in the second half.
Yeah.
When the
Like,
adjustments were
I
made.
mean, I don't know whether or not the actual whipping that we got last week against Kansas was a legitimate wake-up call of, all right, we can't just rest on our laurels. We actually have to game manage and actually adjust, because I've said before on the podcast, when we have everybody fit, Niners defense is the best in the like, it's the best in the NFL by it's not even close.
One
and
thing
I
is,
so
LA
what?
LA Rams offense isn't Kansas City's offense.
No.
Kansas
Well,
City's
no,
offense-
absolutely.
Kansas City's offense is the best offense in the league.
Yeah, absolutely, and it put us to absolute shame. But because I think his presence as well as his skill, Ollie, CMC is bringing so much to the team. Like, you can just feel it. Like, George Kittle's bouncing. Jimmy looks competent. Like, it's not all just on him. Even Debo was on the sideline. He was talking to Jed York about how he can't wait to get back to, triangulate the plays between Jimmy, him, and Christian.
I would have loved you on the podcast last Thursday, Phil, because I had two people being like, CMC's not fit. CMC's not that good.
And I will. No, I'd never said CMC is not good. CMC is one of the best running backs in the league. I think that was always your weak side on the offense. Your running backs. Yes, you have good running backs, but you don't have elite running backs.
Now,
and to be fair, and to agree with Ollie on that point, we have gone through 500 running backs in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Kyle just used them as disposable, just disposable toys. He plays them until
at the moment is a good one.
But then Elijah Mitchell is also injury prone, and we had Breeder, we had Raheem Mostert. We've had really good running backs that we've either run into the ground, or we only signed them on 1-year deals or 2-year deals, or we've traded them away. But Christian, I think because he has that relationship with Kyle, and he's from the Bay anyway, or he lived in the Bay, I think he just brings that extra kind of oomph to the 49ers. We can do this.
The fact that he's such a good receiving back is
Yeah.
such a nice security blanket for Jimmy.
Yeah.
James
Like
White,
even a
yes.
few times he could just chuck down to McCaffrey, go get me 5 yards.
Yeah.
That's what I think we had with James White.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
James White is one of the best receiving backs in the league, and it has been quoted several times. I want to go on to Green Bay because
Okay,
Aaron
honestly,
Jones had a game and a half.
honestly, I know nothing about this game.
I
So
watched the highlights this morning, but yeah.
I know the score and that's it.
Aaron Jones showed
Got me
how
18
to get
Got
at
me 18
Green.
points in fantasy, so obviously didn't play that well.
He rushed for 143 yards. Yes, he didn't get any
He
touchdowns,
scored a touchdown. I know he had a game. Don't worry.
but their Green Bay's rushing was 200 yards.
Was it?
That they
Yeah.
showed how to get a Buffalo, and Josh Allen lowering his shoulder into a linebacker, he's going to get himself hurt. Yes, he is 6'5", 250 pounds. But if
That's
you're
not
putting
sustainable. Yeah.
no, you're going to get yourself hurt. And I saw that on one of the plays, and it was like you're a yard away. Step out of bounds. You're closer to out of bounds than you are. Just step out of bounds, preserve your body. Took a big hit. I mean, yes, he only got hit twice. Yes, he's took a couple of sacks. But he rushes so much, and he does lower his shoulder, and he does the jumps. He's not going to be able to sustain this performance over and over. He's going to be missing a lot of time. He's going to have to adjust his game somehow. And Buffalo are going to have to
I
adjust
feel like how
their game.
Tua's learned to slide now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't always have to make these Hollywood plays to be an effective quarterback. I mean, Green Bay, if they could finish a drive, they would have beaten Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, just going back onto Josh Allen, I mean, I think because I agree, and it's only because I'm still reading the 49er book that I've mentioned a couple of times in the past, and just him doing that play when he body checked the Green Bay. I don't know who who did he knock over to get that down? I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was one of the big. Oh.
And the only reason why it's just come to me is because during halftime I was reading one of the sections during the '94 season for the 49ers, Ollie, and it was during one of the in the playoffs where Steve Young ran for a rushing touchdown. He got the touchdown, but it was against the Bears, and the Bears knocked him over afterwards. After they got the touchdown, and just like Brent Jones and all the other 49ers offensive, they just started a brawl on the pitch because they're like, that's our quarterback. If our quarterback's going to put himself out there, we're going to look after him because someone's messing with, and I can honestly think with Josh Allen growing up during that era and him being a massive 49er fan, I think he has this mindset of, yes, I'm 6'5", yes, I'm a rushing quarterback, but I am this team's leader, so I'm not going to ask my team to do anything that I wouldn't do. Yes, I think he's going to end up getting seriously hurt, but I can just think in that kind of youthful mentality of I can do anything, I can run for a brick wall if I want to, and I just think he is Mr. Buffalo because the best quarterbacks in the NFL are the quarterbacks that buy into their team's philosophy. Like Patrick Mahomes buys into what the Chiefs want to do. As much as I hate him, he buys into it. Josh Allen is everything about. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Allen, if they win the Super Bowl, he puts himself through a table during the ceremony. I can honestly see that.
Have you guys seen that Buffalo documentary on Disney Plus?
No, I haven't yet.
It's about the years where Buffalo lost 4 Super Bowls in a row or something.
And it was glorious.
Yeah.
I know about it from watching America's Team because it was Giants, Niners, Cowboys or something like that.
But I just think the way they did that showed Bills Mafia, and they don't talk about Josh Allen, but I can see how Josh Allen is, as you just said, Mr. Buffalo now.
Yeah, he's full on. It's even with Brady in New England and even in Tampa, he bought into what the team wanted from him, and that was to win.
Straight away.
Absolutely, and Josh Allen is, he's Mr. Buffalo. He wants the team to, he will carry the city on his back. Whilst other quarterbacks in other franchises like Kyler Murray,
I would buy into the Maid's mentality and get arrested.
I mean, but famously, when the Raiders won their 2 Super Bowls with Jim Plunkett. in 80 and
Great
83.
knowledge.
He was a second stringer. I think he was not a starting quarterback in both seasons. Because he was a first round pick he got drafted by the 49ers but got cut. He ended up only playing for the Raiders that season because their starter broke his leg. And then when he won his second Super Bowl, he was back being a second stringer again, but an injury. I mean, so Raiders, other than what's his name, Pliskin, not Pliskin. His nickname was the Snake. He won Madden Super Bowl for him. I can't remember his name.
Oh, yes, I know who you mean now.
Because then he ended up playing for the Oilers when they were a thing. But anyway, Raiders typically don't tend to have great quarterbacks. Is what I'm trying to say. It's like they normally rely on having a defense with a criminal record, or like maniacs like Lyle Alzado or Ted. Oh God, what was Ted? Amazing. My mind's gone blank. It's been a long day.
First day back
it's-
off term, mate.
Who was the Raiders QB that they drafted? That's the biggest bust in NFL history. It was like, what was his name?
Dover?
I thought
Not
Johnny
Dilfer.
Manziel.
He didn't get drafted by the
I
Raiders.
thought that was Johnny Manziel.
Not Manziel. No. He was drafted by the Raiders as a number one overall pick.
Oh yeah, like 06, wasn't it? Like
Yeah, and like they caught him out because they were giving him blank DVDs just to make to catch him out that he wasn't doing game film.
yeah.
Oh, it's really gonna bug me. I mean, hopefully,
Shall we
John's
roll on to tonight's
Yeah.
game?
Sorry, absolutely. Sorry, yeah.
I've been waiting to say this stat all night.
Go on then.
In the last 12 rolled primetime games, the Bengals are 0-12.
I don't see that being carrying on though. Yes, they don't have Jamar Chase, but they've seemed to have found their mojo back.
Yes,
And
I do fancy the Bengals tonight.
When's
having
Deshaun
that mojo back, week 12.
Week 13.
Oh yeah, of course, because they're boys then against Houston.
Yeah.
Yes, Cleveland have Chubb, but they haven't got their wide receivers aren't that
Good.
they've still got a lot of injuries. Denzel
Yes.
Ward's out. Miles Garrett isn't fully fit. Clown is out. The other DB is out as well. And I can't remember.
Bengals by over 5.
Kareem Hunt is probably going to be traded by the end of play
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Does it close tomorrow?
Yeah, 4:00 Eastern time.
9 p.m. Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
So
It might be a bit less dead then.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be Bengals. Yes, they don't have Jamar Chase, but they've got Tyler Boyd. They've got T. Higgins. They've got the Hurst. The tight end.
They've got Mixon.
And they've got Mixon. Green. Okay. Yes, Donovan Peoples Jones.
Is Finn still a
Amani-
Bengals fan?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, that's it. Jamarcus Russell. That's it.
Marcus,
John.
well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, he was
It's not much of-
absolutely
it's
an
like a
abomination. He was really bad.
Well done, John. Well Googled, mate. Or hopefully your radar knowledge is awesome. Yeah, I mean, Bengals have found that thing. It reminds me very much of Chiefs last year. Started off so poorly, and then clicked, found everything, then started on that roll again. And this is looking very ominous. And I think the Bengals are back in the AFC now.
Yeah.
And they're going to give the Ravens a run for their money all the way
Yeah.
through the end, I think. On that one. Phil, Ollie, Shane, when you were here, thank you very much, gentlemen, for being on the show again tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being involved. We are back Thursday, 8:30, with hopefully 1 million and 2 trades to talk about. Monday Night Football and catch
And some big non-NFL news.
Oh, yes. Phil wanted to talk about this tonight, but as we've ranted on for an hour and 13 minutes, I think we better not talk anymore.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Stay safe.